What up, traders? It's SGS Trades coming back with me with another video. And in this video, I will be talking about what's a share versus what's an option. And hopefully, I can clear it up for you guys and make it super, super simple for you guys to understand. And there won't be any confusion, especially if you've maybe heard your friends talk about, oh, shares or oh, options, and it was a little bit confusing. Hopefully, I can clear that up for you guys today. And I think the first thing I want to say is that whenever you own a share, it makes you a public owner of whatever company you're buying shares of, whether that's Apple, Tesla, Google, Microsoft, Amazon, it doesn't matter. Buying a share for whatever share price it is, you're a micro owner of said company. And whenever people buy shares, there's typically two options. There's either you can buy long, as in you think the price is going to go up, which is long, or you can sell short, which you think the price is going to go down and you're betting against that company. So there's two options for that. And then whenever you actually get into options trading, it's a different ball game in the sense that instead of just owning one share, you're actually buying a contract, which gives you the leverage of owning over 100 shares of that company. So whenever you buy an option, not only are you saying that I think the price will go up or down, which in options, instead of it being long or short, we actually call them calls and puts. You're actually saying, I think the price will go either up or down by this X date, meaning that your contract is signed to go up or down with a certain amount of time. That's one of the main caveats. Because shares don't expire, but options do. Whenever you buy an option, you're having the leverage of over 100 shares. And you can either do what's called a call, which means you think it's going to go up, or you can do a put, thinking it's going to go down. So the reason that option trading is so amazing and super cool is that it lets you have the leverage of 100 shares for a fraction of the price. So for example, let's say Apple is at $200, and whenever you own a share and then it goes from $200 to $201, instead of just making a dollar with options, since it's 100 shares, you would have actually made $100. But it's a double-edged sword. So the same way it could have went from 200 to 201, and you made that $100, if it goes from 200 to 199, you would have just lost that same $100. So it's a double-edged sword. It's like a really good way to leverage your money, but it's honestly kind of advanced. So if you're not used to it, it can be kind of difficult to get into. But it's definitely worth it over the long term to learn that skill, because options let you, leverage your money for a fraction of the price. Instead of paying like $20,000 for 100 shares of Apple, you could maybe just pay like $300 and have the same amount of leverage, which is the coolest part about options. It allows you to have so much more power with a fraction of the price. And I think shares are great for the long term, but if you're more a risk on type of person, then options could definitely be worth it to look into, especially if you're trying to grow your account faster. But the whole thing about this is that it's like I was saying, for more advanced traders. So you really need to understand where price is going to go and why. And also you need to have a very, very solid understanding of like risk and decay that also comes with these options, because whenever you buy an option, not only are you saying, oh, I think it's going to go up or down, you're also saying, I think it's going to go up or down by this date, which is another main key part of trading options. Whenever you buy a contract, they have what's called expiration dates. So let's say I bought a $200 call saying I think it's going to go up on Apple, and my strike price, which is the price that I think the stock can go to, is just $201, right? So whenever I buy that contract, it needs to at least go to $201 before my expiration date for me to make any sort of money on that position. Because the way that options work is that you can pay a premium to have more time on the contract, meaning that if you want to be able to have that amount of leverage of 100 shares for a longer amount of time, you need to put down more money into the position, meaning that you need to have more risk or more of your account or more capital in that position so that you can be able to have that leverage for a longer period of time. And that's one of the key things about options, is that you need to be able to time it, and you need to be able to really understand timing and risk very well to actually be profitable in options. I think one of the best things that I ever heard about like options trading versus shares is that holding shares is more of like a marathon, while trading options is more of a sprint, as in growing your account way faster, but it's also riskier and way easier to lose your money trading options than it is having shares, obviously, because of, the amount of leverage that you're taking and the more implied risk that you're getting. Because whenever you buy an option, you have the right to buy or sell, but not the obligation, meaning that you can just hold it until it expires, but unfortunately that means that your contract will expire worthless if you don't execute on that contract before your expiration date. That's why it's super important whenever you're trading options to actually sell the contract before the expiration date, because if you don't, then they just decay and then they'll expire worthless, and nobody wants that, obviously. And yeah, I think that's all I've got for you guys today. So I hope I explained that pretty well. If you guys have any questions or any critiques for me, please leave them in the comments. I'm trying to get better at this. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Hit that like and subscribe button. And I'll see you guys, if not tomorrow, then the day after. And we'll continue this trading university thing. And hopefully I can teach you guys a good amount of info so that help you guys get started on this trading journey, so we can all reach financial freedom together. But yeah, I hope you guys have a good one. And if you guys have any topics you guys want me to talk about in the comment section, don't be afraid to leave them down below. All right, y'all. I hope y'all have a good night. I'll talk to y'all later.